So which legendary festival celebrates its 40th anniversary this year? The answer is Woodstock.
The first Woodstock Festival ran from the 15th to 18th of August 1969 in White Lake, New York. It was billed as 3 days of peace and music. Acts included the Grateful Dead! Oh, God, I would have done anything to be there. Janis Joplin and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, who are headlining this year's Glastonbury. We're asking what the future holds for the Great British Festival. Gail, Steve and Chris have thoughts, I'm sure. Yours, please, on our usual number, 0207 173 5555. I think it's fair to say Britain's been in love with partying outdoors since pagan times. I mean, Stonehenge has been at the centre of a lot of that from about 4000 BC up until 1984, when Druids did their thing as Hawkwind played for free on the back of Wango Riley's travelling... That's me. No, it isn't. Memories. Wish I had some. The first Glastonbury back in 1970 cost £1 and saw 1,500 people turn up. Last year, 130,000 people descended on Worthy Farm, paying more than £150 for the privilege. Now, they reckon the festival industry in this country is worth... How much do you think? £500 million, which might explain why there are like 500-plus festies fighting for your cash, from the hard rock of Download to the family-friendly Latitude. Mega bashes like Glasto and V to smaller shindigs like Trowbridge, Beautiful Days and the Green Man. And I'm wondering if the credit crunch might crush Britain's outdoor party scene, because some are going to struggle this year for sure. Maybe we've reached saturation point. But really what I want to find out is why we Brits in particular love festivals so much, what festy nightmares have turned you off in the past, what turns you on, and we sent it was Kirsty Walkabout yesterday to find out.
The atmosphere, everyone together for a prolonged period of time, solid partying, in nature as well is a great aspect, so you're not in a dingy club.
Well, the size for a start, the setting and the choice. If you go to Glastonbury, there are so many different things going on. You know, you can see 3, 4, 5 things in a day, whereas if you go to a club, there's one type of music and one thing going on.
It's the atmosphere, I think, with going with all your mates, going down to party, meet new people.
Really just the music, and not putting up tents or something, but really being there and having many bands, as many bands as I like, to listen to the music.
Everyone gets to leave all their responsibilities at home, and you can be who you want to be and just forget about everyday cares.
I don't like it that they're becoming massively commercial. I think it's got to stick to being about the music and being about the atmosphere.
I like the music. I think it's great. And they're all enjoying themselves, aren't they?
Nice one. It just goes to show, I think there's probably as many different appealing reasons to festivals as there are people that go to them. And we're joined by two folk who know all about festivals past, present and future. Lenny is a familiar face, providing wellies, emergency gear and all sorts of other stuff for loads of festivals, and bars as well, doing the Glasto. And Katrina runs the Big Chill Festival now in its 15th year, and God, I've been to 10. So you got my vote. Let's start with you, Lenny. Well, how did it all begin for you?
30 years ago, Matthew, Stonehenge, selling reject electric blankets for £1.
I bought one off you, didn't I?
Did you pay me for it?
I gave you.
And then we went on to Glastonbury after that, and then it's expanded.
And that was kind of... There were smaller, little, sort of folkier ones going on. I mean, what do you make of the fact there's like 500 this year? Is that sustainable?
I don't know if it's sustainable in this climate at the moment, but you basically got two types of festival. You've got what I call the accountants' festivals, which are people with big computer screens who are very good at putting boxes in. Quite sterile, but they tend to be arena festivals. And then you've got a lot of smaller, spirited festivals that are coming through these days, like Beautiful Days, The Glade, Dorset, small ones like that. They've got a lot of feeling about them again, which festivals used to have.
Is it... I mean, it was quite interesting, I thought, in that film, that not everyone listed music as the #1 thing. In fact, I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. It's about what's going on. It's about meeting people. People make friends for life at festivals.
Don't look at me, mate. and what's been your best and worst festival experience?
Best one, I suppose, was 2005. Police selling wellies off the back of lorry for me. We had 30 police tied up. People rioted, basically, because we were waiting so long to get our next lot of wellies in. So we pulled the lorry in, put the tail lift down, the police jumped on the back and they were flogging for me. So, great. Good to get some of your taxpayers' money back, really.
And the worst experience?
Last year. Not being able to get a container into a festival because the ground was too bad.
It is the weather, isn't it, Katrina? I mean, you must have some kind of special relationship with him upstairs, because 10 years, and I've never had anything but sunshine.
I just don't like to talk about the weather. I feel like, thank you, we've had 15 years of just really, really good weather, and it's in a beautiful valley. So you just forget about the everyday, and it's about getting together. The sun shines.
I was going to say, because although you do great music,
yes,
I get the feeling, and I might be wrong here, that music isn't the priority for the chill.
It isn't. We have about 6 or 7 stages with music, from, you know, the DJs and the cocktail bars to live music. But we also have tents like Big Chill Nights, which I think we've got like 20 trannies coming along and doing this amazing club night called Johnny Woo, and Hot Breath Karaoke. And you've just I know, you've got everything going on. But, you know, even myself, I get really excited about seeing 8 bands, and then I won't see them because I'll get so caught up in something that's going on in the campsite, or just watching people in their fancy dress, or people bring their own entertainment in as well. And it's about getting together and entertaining each other.
And I've heard that, because I know yours is down in the sort of Welsh-English borders.
It is.
And it's not, because you've had a kind of a long-going relationship with Eastnor where it's at.
We have.
And it's benefiting the local community as well.
Yeah, we were invited to Eastnor Castle, which was a relief after, I think, about 7, 8 days of knocking on doors and saying, can we put a festival on? And them going, no, you're a rave. And we're going, no, we're lovely people. And they invited us in. But this year we've just got an Arts Council grant for £37,000, and we're putting that into local school projects, and we're working at Eastnor Castle Primary School on an arts project, and 2 at the secondary schools. And that's really important. I mean, there's like this umbilical cord attached to us and that weekend festival, but we're spending all year planning it. There's a team of us, about 8 to 10, and it's what we do every day. So it's really important as well that we get fulfilment as well from what we do. It really doesn't matter if it rains, because there is so much else going on. No, it's important that I don't take it for granted. I've got to say that.
What has been your own personal best and worst experience of festivals?
I think my favourite experience was probably the very first one, when we told the local farmer we only had 200 people coming and 800 turned up. And he was looking at me and he was going, do you know them? And I'm going, yeah, I know them all, they're all my friends, you know. And then the police turned up as well, and there was this stall, the WOMAD record stall, and they said, is Peter Gabriel coming? And I said, oh yeah, he's coming. And they said, brilliant, and they ran away and let it go ahead.
And your worst?
My worst experience, there's probably a lot of frustration at points, and it's when you're getting really, really tired, because you don't want to sleep. You've got 3 to 4 days, and you've spent all year planning it, and you don't want to lose a moment.
Do you have fun at your own festival?
I have a lot of fun, but I have a lot of fun watching it build and flourish, and every year I stand there, you know, before the gates open, going, there's something wrong, and then suddenly everybody pours in, and you just go, it's the people, it's the chillers, they're missing.
Good for you, good for you. You been to any, Chris?
I have, yeah. Not recently. I get cold, wet and miserable in many parts of my work, you know, and I normally get home without having everything nicked as well. So, no, I'm not a big... I take a rather cynical view of festivals. I mean, I do go to lots of gigs, but they're safely indoors.
Are you surprised that we now have 500-odd in this country?
Yes and no. I think the music culture has changed, you know, obviously dramatically in the course of in my life. So although the same bands are still playing, the way that people want to see them and enjoy them, and the generations that are doing so are different. And I think, you know, when I was a kid, it was about punk bands, and it was about seeing them in the 100 Club and all the Marquee and all that sort of stuff. And they didn't play festivals. That was for the mega gods, you know, the Stones and the Grateful Dead and all that nonsense that we hated so much. So they didn't buy into the festival thing.
Although it is worth saying, Hawkwind, Johnny Rotten himself cited them as no Hawkwind, there would have been no punk rock. So.
Well, I know. I was jesting. Again, you know, I remember going to one festival and I arrived, I'd hitched there and I had a particularly shabby pair of trousers on, and I bought a lentil curry and was climbing through a barbed wire fence and tipped it over myself. And I knew I was going to be wearing it for 3 days, you know, so I just
Probably better than eating it, to be fair.
It would have ended up like that anyway, it's just a question of time.
Yeah. It ended well, though, because Pete Shelley of the Buzzcocks did an acoustic version of Ever Fallen in Love, and I think just about everyone was crying in the audience. It was an awesome moment. So not all bad memories from festivals.
Good band as well. What about you, Gal? You've been to a few?
Yeah, I love festivals. I like Tea in the Park. I'm in Scotland. That's great. Really good atmosphere. Not the best weather. always. But I'm starting to take Honey now. I'm hoping to take her to a few this year.
That's I think families have been a much bigger part to play in.
Because I think, you know, I do all the fees and everything else in Reading and Leeds, but I think it'd be really nice to take Honey. Maybe I'm going to try.
Look, there we go.
There's me, yeah.
Which one are you?
I'm the bald one, yeah. That's the great.
Do you know, actually interesting, we asked everybody here today to bring in their festival photos. I obviously forgot. Chris doesn't have any, neither does Steve. And Gail suckered right into it there.
I'm an idiot. But what I love as well is I was going into my tent, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I could hear these guys having this conversation in the next door tent. Go, no, but if you had to sleep with a weasel or a stoat, which... And you're like that. They're having a great... They're going, no, but seriously, if you had to... And they're going, I'm not going to sleep with either. If you had to... But apart from that, the music... I love...
The answer's stoat.
And Steve, you're playing festivals this year, Latitude?
I play Latitude every year, and I love it for the same reason. It's kind of... So, I mean, I suppose it's quite similar to the Big Chill in terms of it's a smaller festival. There's an awful lot for families to do. There's family enclosure. In fact, but it's quite a middle-class festival. In fact, it's so middle-class that there's a waiting list to get your child into the play area.
Can you move tent to stand a better chance of getting in?
Well, well, I mean, and I have to say it's an amazing. You know, it's also, if you are in a kind of in an area of natural beauty, there is something wonderful about it. The Brits love camping. We always have. We do. We like caravanning. We love millets.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
Well, you're right. Why?
But and I think it's a sense of. I think it's a kind of purging ourselves, and it is getting back to basics. No one likes festival toilets. They haven't really got any better.
Oh, they have. They have. Stonehenge, there was one porter cabin to service for 100,000 people at Stonehenge.
But it is extraordinary. But it's amazing how people go prepared for it now. It's, you know, you go with wet wipes and toilet rolls and, you know, and I pull a Winnebago on my back. So that's...
Let's find out what you like about festivals and what you hate as well. Kirsty, what do people say?
We have Christina on line 1.
Morning, Christina.
Good morning.
Hi there. What's your take on festivals, British festivals?
Well, I've never attended one before, and I'm doing one this summer. It'll be my first one.
Right.
But it won't be here in the UK. I'm actually going all the way to Stockholm because I found it cheaper for accommodation, travel, and all of it.
Sorry, isn't a tent free wherever you go?
It's cheaper to fly to Sweden.
Is it cheaper to fly to Sweden, pay admission?
Yes, it is. Don't want to promote that airline, but only a $5 to fly over.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. Have you been to Sweden before?
No, I haven't, so I'm doing it partly.
Worst holiday of my life. Bar none. Never stopped raining. As they dropped me off with my little canoe and my tent as I was going to canoe down from the Arctic Circle, the guy said, we have bad weather coming in. Terrible. Don't ever go to Sweden. Oh, sorry, Christina, you're going. Tough. That serves you right for slanging off British festivals. Let's have another one.
We have Stuart on line 2.
Stuart, good morning.
Hi, Matthew.
What do you love or loathe about festivals?
Well, basically, I've only ever been to one, and that was Donington Monsters of Rock. It was a heavy metal festival. And you just can't beat the atmosphere. Being in the middle of a mosh pit surrounded by 400 sweaty, half-naked men.
I have another little Donington story, which is one of my favourite stories of all time. I arrived at Donington, and when we were sort of about 2/3 of the way back, and there was a man very drunk at lunchtime, and his friends did what any decent friends would do on one of the hottest days of the year, took all his clothes off and left him in the sunshine to bake. And just as Iron Maiden were finishing at around 11 o'clock, this man came round a bit. He put one arm down one leg of his trousers, one arm down the other leg of his trousers, spent the next hour trying to put his trousers over his head. Memories are made of things like that. Thank you, Stuart. What about you, Eric? What about you?
Yeah, well, I'd never been to a festival until last year. So last year was my first one. I went to the Big Chill.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, because it was just for a weekend, just go back to basics, you leave your computers, your laptops, your TVs at home, all your troubles of work and everything, and just go camping and meet new people and, you know, appreciate the music. And I really liked it. And hopefully I'm going this year as well.
I always leave my TV at home, don't you?
OK, on that note, that's it for the day and for the week, I'm afraid. A huge thank you to Lenny and Katrina for joining us this morning. Good luck with your festivals, all of them. To Chris for joining us this morning. Come the revolution, brother, we'll be there. And looking forward to Autumn Watch as well. We should talk about that. Gail and Steve, oh, pure pleasure, pure pleasure. Give it up for our wonderful next week, Anne Diamond, Anton G. Beck on the panel. Special guests include Ben Fogle and the legend that is Jerry Springer. Thanks for watching this week. Have a wicked weekend. Bye.